Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing on this beautiful, wonderful day that the Lord has made? I just came up here to say congratulations to all the dads and granddaddies, uncles, brothers, everyone that has children today, because children truly are a blessing. Whether we think so or not, it's a blessing to have children. And it's a blessing for the children to have their father, their dad. Well, they say, according to the Bible, it says, call no man your father, because your father is in heaven. So those of you who are blessed to have a dad, or earthly father, I don't know what you call your dad. Some people call him Papa, Pop, Dad, Pa. Down home they used to say Paul. I don't know. There's so many names that you have for your dad. But nevertheless, I'm here to say Happy Father's Day to all dads, especially a dad that acknowledges his children. He takes care of his children. He looks to his children, as an asset. And then, he looks to the woman that had the children for him. And she too is a blessing to the man, to the gentleman that she had the baby with. And that's all I'm saying. I don't know if I'm saying it right or not, y'all. But I just came up here to say Happy Father's Day. I cannot stress that enough. I know I personally was not raised with my dad. I think my mom and dad separated when I was about 5 or 6 years old or something like that. And so I knew he was a tall guy. I knew that. He was tall, and everybody said that my brother, looked like him and stuff like that. But I didn't see my dad anymore until, well, it's a story I think I told you about before, how he got half of his foot was cut off when he was found, and how he had a lot of scars and stuff on his body. But I still thought about my dad, and I miss my dad. And all you dads out there, your children love you. They love you. You are their dad, and they love you. Believe me, even to this very day, I love my dad. And one thing that I regret not doing, because we came in contact with my dad. I'm just telling you this story so you could know where I'm coming from. And like I said, my mom and dad had separated. And we do not know until this day what actually happened to my dad. And we hadn't seen him for years until I think it was 1975, or was it 73? I can't forget. It's been a while ago now. But there was an article that was circulated in the newspaper down yonder home in North Carolina where we used to live. And it was saying, I don't know if my sister still has that article or not, but there was an article in the paper stating that if anybody knew the whereabouts of Frank Cogdell, that they should contact, they gave it a number and everything. But anyway, some people that knew us from way down home knew we were up here, and they had relatives up here. As a matter of fact, I live right next door to one of the people from down home. And the person that knew us contacted the person up here. And that person contacted, I think it was my sister, because she ended up with a picture of my dad and things like that. And we communicated with he was in a convalescent home, and they said that he was found in a car, sleeping. That's where he was sleeping at, in a car. And that he had a lot of scars on his body, and half of his foot was cut off, like Kunta Kinte. And me and my sister, it was in Jenkinsburg, Georgia, that he was found at, and that's where he was, he left us, this world, and went on to be with the Lord. He was living. That's where he was at, in Jenkinsburg, Georgia. And we was debating whether or not to go. My husband at the time, we were married, I was married at the time, and he had said that he would drive us down to Jenkinsburg, Georgia, to see my dad. He was in a convalescent home. But we waited too late. He died before we got the opportunity, before we made up our minds to go. He had passed away. And I don't think there was anyone that attended his services, his funeral. And, it sort of gets sort of sad when I tell that story right to this very day, because we don't know what happened to him. We don't really have the answer that we really wanted, Sometimes, you don't have the closure. You still wonder, well, what happened to him? And deep down inside of myself, I knew that he loved us. Oh, yeah, he loved us. And I just knew that he wouldn't just walk out of our lives totally like that. He would come around sometimes. I remember him, he would come around and bring oranges and stuff like that, to see us and everything. And he wanted to get back with my mom, but my mom, I guess she said she had enough or whatever the situation was with that. A lot of things that goes on between mom and dad, we don't know as children. We really don't know what transpired between them. But, that's something that I held on to because I was the youngest one of the family. I was only about, like I said, about 5 or 6. And my oldest brother, he remembers the most because he's 5 years older than me. So he was either 10 or 11. And then my other brother, he was 10. He knew, and right on down to the line. Like I said, I was the youngest one. But for those that are here today, appreciate your dad. Nobody is perfect. Not even one person on the face of God's earth is perfect. Not one. There was only, I think, according to the Bible, there was only one person. He never felt the sting of death, according to the Bible. I believe his name was Elijah. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that now. But he never felt the sting of death because he was caught up. So don't be, think that everybody is perfect. They are not. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. Whoever's in the sound of my voice right now, you're not perfect. Do not think that you could be up there on some pedestal or not because you did this for your children. You did that for your children. Because, see, I'm going to tell you something. Even though you may have done this and done that for your children, you still ain't perfect, and you probably have some resentments, in your life of things that you would have changed, that you would have changed if you could. You may have wanted to do more, but you were unable to do so. Don't knock yourself up too bad, don't beat yourself up too bad, y'all. And the reason I said don't beat yourself up too bad, because as long as there's life, there is hope. As long as you can breathe in and out, there's hope. And, I'll tell you something else while we're talking about Dad. There's nothing like family, believe me. Family. That's right. Mama, dad, sister, brother. When I was involved in that car accident that time that I had, I didn't want my friends. Who did I want? I wanted my mama. I wanted my family. My sister. Everybody was, this is the thing here, right here, y'all, that you need to understand the importance of family. If something happens to you right today, you ain't going to say, call my homie. If your mama's alive, you want to call your mother, call your sister, your next closest relative. That's just the way it is, y'all. And we as a people need to bond better with our families. And don't do I don't want to talk like this today, y'all. I wasn't intended to talk like this. And I'm so sorry if I'm, disturbing somebody's feeling. I definitely don't mean to. And so I'm going to stop right there because, I'm getting really carried away about this family thing. But, even though my marriage didn't work, which is certain circumstances, this is a bad day to go into that. But, I probably never will go into that. But sometimes, when you get a divorce, the children feel that they also got divorced because the dad don't come around no more. Dad is, basically with another woman and her children, and he sort of left his own children behind. And the children that he left behind are hurting. They're jealous because somebody else has got my dad. It's mine, And that's sort of the way a child feels sometimes. But I mean, you could still have a life, but you can also have a life with your children. Some people faithfully, they see their children every week or every weekend, or every other weekend, or even every day. They might come by just to say, hello, how you doing? Or call them on the phone, FaceTime. The technology today is a great thing to have. Yes. And I would say this about my son. I think he was, he was FaceTiming his daughter. Even though they weren't together and everything like that, he was FaceTime. She's a special child. But she would light up when he called. They'd be on the phone. So, Dad, don't forget the children. Remember the children. And I congratulate you for however many children that you may have. Congratulations to you. And with that, I just hope I was able to open up somebody's ear and somebody's heart today. And on that note, I go with love. See y'all tomorrow.